Hello guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be working on this little cute horse that I picked up a couple weeks ago. So I started by taking it apart and just adding some glue to make it sturdy. So I did lose some footage on where I painted it, but I did start off by painting it with a moss green from Waverly chalk paint. I added some texture into there because I want to create a chippy look. So I let it dry overnight and then I painted over the green with some Waverly Snow White chalk paint. And right here you can see where all the texture's at, and I'm going to go in there and sand it down with my sanding block. So I want a little bit more control on the sanding, so that is why I'm using a sanding block versus a sander. So I do focus my sanding on all the raised places where I added the texture so I can get that green to come through, and it'll just give it a more chippy look. So here you can see where all the green came through. I even got some of the wood to come through. I have this vision in my head. So now we are going to work on her little tail. So this fabric here I picked up for the intended purpose of making her a little tail. So I'm going to go ahead and cut strands out of this fabric. And I'm going to just do it very, I'm not going to cut it straight or anything. We're just going to rip it so it can look a little bit more distressed. And that is the look I'm going for. Next up, I do want to make her look a little bit shabby chic. So I am going to add pieces of laces. I have the neutral one, and I'm also going to add this pink and some purple. So once I get them all laid out, I'm going to go ahead and tie them off at the top. I'm going to try and do it as tight as possible because where her previous tail was, the hole is really small, so I can't have too thick of a knot on top. So I'm going to try and knot it off as tight as I can. And just to secure it a little bit further, I do go in with a zip tie. And now to work on her hair from her head, I'm going to use a piece of jute here. Using the same fabric, I'm going to go ahead and cut some more strands out of that fabric, and I'm going to rip them up exactly how I did her tail for a more distressed look. So I just cut some little notches on the top of the fabric, and then I'm going to go ahead and start tearing them just very freely. Then using this jute, I go in there and go ahead and tie my little fabric pieces on there, just as if you were making a fabric banner. I go in there and tie them just the exact same way, and that is going to create her hair for top of her head. Once I fill up my jute here, I do go in with some pink lace that I had left over from her tail. Same thing with the purple, but then once I added to the horse, I didn't really like the way the pink looked on the top, so I do end up taking that off. Then I decide that I'm going to, just to add a little bit of volume to her tail, I go ahead and cut 2 more pieces of that same fabric that I'm going to glue on top of the tail. Then I'm going to glue this pretty little lace bow right on top of that. So I do decide that I want to add some stamps to my horse here. So I'm going to use the IOD stamp Floral Swag, I believe it's called. And I do go ahead and add it to both sides right under the seat. Next up, I'm just going to attach her tail using some hot glue. Right here you can see I'm going to add those two pieces just to create a little bit more fullness. And then I'm going to add the bow right on top of that. And I do the exact same thing with the hair. It's basically a banner that I glued to the top of the head where the previous hair was. And that is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this transformation. I truly loved how it came out, exactly how I envisioned. If you like what you see, please subscribe and follow for more, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.